Greetings, everyone. Welcome to another live stream. Let's see. Okay, today on the live stream, I'm going to be doing some sketch covers because if you're not aware, I have a Kickstarter going on right now, and one of the reward tiers are these sketch covers. I'll show you a few of those, and then we're gonna draw one. But let's see here. Let me get over here. All right. Okay, so this is kind of, and if you're not familiar with what a sketch cover is, I will show you. Let me pull this one out here. It is basically just a blank cover, and it does have a trade dress on it. This one's kind of like a wraparound one. I usually just do it on the front cover for these, but it's just like a comic book, but it's got a blank cover, and then we can draw original sketches. And what I'm doing are 80s themed zombie sketches. So here you got, if you're familiar, if you're around in the 80s, if you ever seen Say Anything, this is a classic moment for that movie, but with a zombie. Footloose, you may recognize that from the poster of Footloose, only with a zombie. Kevin Bacon dancing to the Walkman. Mr. T, another iconic figure from the 80s as a zombie. And of course, the Terminator as a zombie. So today we're going to do something along those lines. The other thing is, so a couple of different things as far as the Kickstarter goes. Oh, we got Frank in the chat. Hey, Frank, how's it going? There's a couple different ways. So you can back a tier that actually has an original zombie sketch, like one of these, or some of them have these blank covers where you can draw your own. Yeah. If you want to do your own. And I heard from somebody on Substack the other day. I mentioned that they were looking forward to getting theirs, and they're an artist and awesome horror work, and they're gonna do a sketch cover. So I'm like, oh well, you got to send me a picture of that once you get it and once you sketch it all out. So yeah, for if you are getting these and you are doing sketches on them, please tag me, send me a note with a picture to it. So all right, so today the other thing I'll mention. So let's see. Can I pull this? I think I can pull this up. Let me see. Can you see that? Okay, so here's where we are so far with the Kickstarter. We're doing pretty good. We hit that first initial goal. Oh, let me see. Is that, maybe I'm not too close to the mic. I'll get a little closer. Okay. So we hit our initial goal. Now I set a really modest goal because if you're not familiar with Kickstarter, if you don't raise a certain amount, whatever, and you can set that amount, but if you don't raise that certain amount, then you don't get anything. So I see Dylan in the chat. Hey Dylan, how's it going? So I wanted to make sure that I do hit that goal. So I set a pretty modest goal, which would get everyone copies of the book and everything like that. But I really want to do a nicer book instead of just print on demand, which is pretty limited. I want to do a nice offset printed book, and we want to. So even though we did hit that initial goal, which is awesome, we're looking to go beyond that. Now, where we are right now, we're at let's see, $1,941. My goal, I set a goal to myself that by Friday, which is tonight, that we could hit 2,000. So let's see if we can do that. So if you haven't already backed and you want to put me over the edge, might take a couple people depending on what tier you're back at, but I definitely want to get up to that 2,000 tonight. So let's see if we can make that happen. Or if you've already backed and you had maybe, a lot of people got paid today. So even though you don't have to pay till the campaign ends, let me hold. Sorry, let me go back. All right. Put myself on screen here. So even though you don't have to pay till the campaign ends, if you backed it and you're like, oh, I saw some cool extras and stuff, and maybe sometime throughout the stream, depending on how much I get done on this cover, maybe I'll share some of the things that are on the Kickstarter and everything. But without any further delay, let's kind of get to drawing. And of course, like I said, the chat is open. So if you guys have questions or whatever, I'll be glancing over at the chat. Feel free to ask any questions while I'm working on some of this stuff. Let's see. So let me switch back here. All right, here we are. So cool. So I've got, I'll kind of go through some of my tools and stuff as I'm going. Usually I sketch everything out with a a color erase pencil, Prismacolor color erase pencil. It is erasable to some extent. For this I'm using the green because I'm going with a whole green theme. Um, and so there's that. And let's see. And then I use either Copic markers, or lately I've been using a Hoo because they're, I think, quite a bit better deal. The only problem is, I thought at one point they started to sell the individual markers, so I'm getting low on green, and I guess maybe it wasn't that profitable. But I know they're not watching. Probably the likelihood of that is pretty low. But yeah, I mean, if maybe single markers aren't profitable, put together packs of like a green pack or a blue pack, or I know they do have a pack of like flesh tones, which is they're kind of on the right track, but so you don't have to buy a whole other set just for those ones you're missing. Now I did pick up these. I got these Spectrum Noir, which are pretty good markers. The only thing, they don't have the brush tip, but that's all right. You can, if I have to fill in the gaps, I've got this real nice set of green Spectrum Noir markers. So, and they're alcohol based, so they're going to be fully compatible and everything. But let's get to sketching. Now, the one thing I'll kind of mention, if you do have your eye on one of these sketch cover tiers, it's kind of the way it's written in the campaign is that you kind of get what you get. So I've got a number of these, and it's just kind of luck of the draw. I'll send those out. Now, the reason why I do that isn't because I don't, I don't want to give you guys choices or anything. But the problem is with Kickstarters, the more choice kind of you give people, then you have to wait. A lot of times you have to wait for them to decide what they want and everything, and that can hold up the whole campaign. So I won't mention this on the actual campaign, but if you're watching this, I'll let you know that if you back one of those and there's something specific you want, and there's a limitation. The limitation on these is I want to keep them zombie themed. I want to keep them to one character, and I want it's one character and then one color, or green. It's gonna be. I mean, here's a pretty good example of what I'm talking about. 80s themed zombies, and if you have one character, you have something like that. Then yeah, I'll do kind of what you're looking for. You just got to reach out to me and let me know, because I don't really want to hold up the campaign or anything, waiting for everyone's feedback to come in for stuff like that. Having said that, I did have somebody that commissions a lot of stuff for me. Well, let me backtrack. I don't do a lot of commissions, but the times I do commission are when I do like store signings and things like that. And I have a friend that comes in all the time and commissions me to do sketch covers and stuff like that at my local comic book store. And he backed the campaign, so I just reached out to him, asking if he had any idea, and he had a really good one. He wanted a zombie Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, which is perfect. So I've got just for reference, I've got my little Stay Puft Marshmallow Man guy here. So we're going to put him over here off screen. I'm going to look at him, and we're going to start sketching out a Stay Puft Marshmallow Man zombie. So I'm excited to do this. So I'll just get to sketching. Like I said, while I do that, feel free to ask away as far as questions and things like that. All right. Now, you may not be able to. This is kind of one of those things where I draw fairly lightly, and just because of the camera and all that stuff, you may not be able to see the drawing all that well until I get to a point where I start inking or filling in some of the sketches. So kind of have to bear with me. That's why I kind of open it up for questions, so it's not completely boring because you can't see what I'm doing. But I'm just going to start. This is a fairly simple character. I mean, this is something you guys could definitely draw at home as well. But I'm just kind of getting the basic shapes out, which is basically a lot of just, these are marshmallow. It's like, sometimes when I'm talking about how to draw or whatever, I might even use the kind of the analogy of, we're going to just draw a marshmallow shape or something, or a cylinder, which is pretty much what a marshmallow is. But in this case, we're actually drawing marshmallows. So, but I just want to get a good sketch here. He's got the big wide marshmallowy legs, and I guess his feet are kind of, I don't know if they're, yeah, I guess he does. They're like, they do kind of come out a little more like feet, I guess, not just like almost like a squish marshmallow. And then the trick is going to be trying to figure out how to zombify him, which I guess you could take a few cues from like the more recent uh, Ghostbusters movies where they're like torturing themselves and stuff, and the little marshmallow guys. If you've seen any of the more current ones, um, so and that you could almost use that as sort of a and I kind of closer to an idea of what the zombie might look like, a zombie one. All right, let's see. And again, sorry, I don't. I can hold it a little closer. It's even that you probably can't see very well, but we'll get there. That's always been my issue when I'm drawing live. It's because I don't. I mean, I draw fairly light in the sketching stage. I guess. Okay. Get the little sailor cap, almost like Donald Duck. All right. And then of course he's got a little sailor. I don't know what you call this. It's funny. I don't know. This is definitely probably not a thing anymore. It must have been a thing back in the '70s, when I was a little kid. But I've got pictures of me and my brother dressed up as, or maybe not my brother, maybe it was just me dressed up in sailor outfits for some reason, and that's just something I guess my mom did. I don't know why. That was a thing, I guess. If anyone else is around my age, let me know if that's something that you have. It's a picture of yourself in a sailor outfit. All right, let's see. I think well, I want to tilt his head a little more this way. All right, now let's see for the expression on the face. It's definitely going to be a zombie. So now, usually, I don't know if you can see this, but usually, what I do when I'm sketching in the face is I'll usually draw just some lines, like almost like a little X, but it's going to have the curvature of this circular shape, just so I know where to place the eyes and stuff. Now, this is a zombie, so he's going to have kind of my trademark one giant kind of zombie eye, and the other one a little bit smaller. See if I can start filling it a little more. I should do that just so hopefully you can see a little better once I get to that point. Because even though I can ink on super light sketch, I'm going to try to darken a little bit so maybe you guys can see it. Let's see. Do we have any? So Frank says, I have a picture of me and a baby in overalls and a bow tie. The entire picture has a maroon tint. Yeah, that sounds, yeah, I remember that. There's another picture of me like in a cowboy outfit on a horse, like one of those little miniature horses. I remember that. All right. Let's see. All right. So he doesn't really have a nose because I'll usually draw kind of a split kind of zombie nose, but I'm going to make his mouth kind of open. And even though I don't think he has teeth, we're kind of limited to the character itself. So I think I'm going to give him some teeth. It's really kind of hard to do. I think the teeth are kind of one of the things that makes a zombie the way it. So we'll do that. I won't do the nose just because he doesn't really have. Although you never know, maybe under his I don't know, marshmallowy skin, maybe he does have a nose under there. We just don't see it. So, but I don't know. We'll see. Okay, so we've got that, and let's see. So we've got. I mean, we've got kind of the basic shape. And apologize if you can't see it because it's too light. We will get to the ink stage and then the color. Right now, I'm just doing the little bow here. But when I'm at this stage, what I want to do is I want to start thinking of um, how to zombify him. So even though he's made of marshmallows, marshmallows are pretty much the same all the way through. I'll probably have some dripping marshmallow goo coming out of the open sores here, but I still think I want to draw some like fleshy things, just because that's one of the kind of trademarks of the zombie. At least the way I do them is the peeled away skin, and when then we see some of the we can see some of the sinew and the muscles, and maybe even a bit of a skeleton. Even though I don't know if you guys have you seen any of the like, I don't know what they call them, custom art toys that have like the split versions of some of the cartoon characters. Like it's like a dissected version of like might be Donald Duck or something like that, and it shows kind of the bones and stuff inside, like a cutaway. That's kind of what I'm kind of aiming here for here. And then I what would be cool? We should have it like if he is kind of the idea that he is on fire, have him kind of bubbling up, or maybe I don't know, almost like sores, like it's just pussing and bubbling up. There's some of them kind of dripping out. I wish you could see that see this better. Let me see if I can hold it up a little bit. You see that? Can you see that? See if it focuses. It's not still not coming out that great. So that's why sometimes when I do live streams, I'll just do the inking. But I don't know. Sometimes, a lot of times, people want to see the actual drawing, even though you can't really see it. You can see my pencil moving around. Um, so I'm going to make the little, his hat is going to be, his hat's going to be a little frayed here, and then I guess it says "Stay Puffed" on it. So is it "Stay Puffed"? Oh, it's PUF. It's not PUF ED. It's PUFT. Stay Puffed. Okay. This little collar is going to be all messed up. I'm gonna draw some dripping marshmallows kind of coming from his fingertips, like it's melting. Again, more kind of sores and things like that. I could almost do this in the ink stage where you could see it, but I just feel more comfortable with some pencils down. Let's see. Frank says you can kind of see the perspective. It looks cool. Thanks, Frank. So yeah, again, I'm pretty happy with the Kickstarter. The way it's performing. We still got kind of a ways to go as far as getting to the sort of that real goal that I really want to hit, so we can get to some really awesome books, offset printed books, and because this is the final go round. This is the last issue and the complete trade. So I really want this to be, just something cool, because this is what I'm going to be, pitching for a while. I'm going to be bringing to shows and things like that. So, but yeah, it's sometimes it's hard to believe that I've kind of completed this much, got so far on this project. and I'm really excited about how the story came out, and that it's, that we're there, and just want to start building more buzz around it. Okay, so we got a lot so far in his face. He looks pretty. I think he looks pretty good, pretty creepy. Now for his body, I think I'm gonna put a giant. I don't know if you'll be able to see, like a big giant, like ripped away part, and then I want to show maybe even like some rib cages in there. Even though realistic. Well, we're talking about some. I say realistically, but we're this isn't a real character. But he probably wouldn't if he probably wouldn't have bones and things, but I don't know. I think it'll look cool if he did. So I'm gonna draw a bit of a rib cage in here. I don't know if you can see that or not, but I do want, almost like, instead of blood, he's got goopy marshmallow. So I'm gonna have a lot of that sort of dripping out. All right. Even over the ribs, I'll probably have like goopy marshmallow kind of coming out. Oh, Corey's in the chat. Hey, Corey. Yeah, I definitely want your guys' feedback. Chris says he's excited for the conclusion, so I definitely am anxious to kind of get your feedback. I mean, I could even send you a PDF. I'm sure you want to wait till well, you read some stuff PDF, but of course at this point, I guess if I was looking for feedback, I did get some feedback, before I completed it, but at this point, it kind of is what it is. But I still want to know what you guys think. But I do want to mention there are still, I think, three, maybe four, at least three of the Remark covers. So what that is you're not familiar with what a Remark is. It's where you actually draw right on the cover. So there's an early bird tier that has a Remark, and I think there's still three available. So it'll be a Remark on the trade. I don't want me to show you because, of course, this is just a mock-up. It's actually I just made this cover and put it on an old anthology that I did. But it's pretty much the same page count, so that's pretty much how thick the complete story is going to be. But I've got three tiers that still have these, so those probably aren't going to last much longer. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, and I will probably be doing a video where like I said, I won't get the books back until later after the campaign, but I'll probably just do a Remark just to show what they are on a cover, like on a regular cover like this. Okay, we're getting there. I'm drawing. So right now, I'm just getting to the point where hopefully I'll be able to start coloring it pretty soon. But then I'm going to draw a little like I guess like little dirt spots on him. Like this is actually such a great idea. I hadn't thought about it. I did on one of the other campaigns. I think I did one with a Ghostbuster as a zombie, but I've never done. But I never even considered the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. But I just thought that was when he said that, I was just like, oh man, that's a great idea. And then, I don't know if you can see this, but I'm going to put some dripping marshmallow under his feet. And we go. And he's like, I get totally into this and I stop. This is the thing that Josh, my co-host of the Artcasters, he's really good at doing these live streams and talking and drawing at the same time. I kind of get into it and I forget to keep my mouth running. So it's not totally natural. And I don't do half as many live streams as Josh, even though like right now I'm trying to do more just because the campaign's going and it's a good way to remind people that it's going. So for the next, 3 weeks or so, you're gonna probably see more of me doing live streams and whatnot. Let me see. Okay, I'm gonna hold this up. See. And yeah, it's just no, it doesn't. It looks. I'm looking at the screen where you guys are. I mean, you can kind of see a little bit, but we're getting there. It shouldn't be much longer before we get to the inks, and then you'll be able to see kind of what I'm doing. But yeah, I don't know if I don't know if maybe Fridays aren't the best night to live stream. Maybe people are just out and about or whatever. Um, the last live stream I did, I had it was hopping, um, but I don't know. We'll see. And if you're watching this, definitely if you're watching this after the fact, um, yeah, just consider. I mean, all the information's there on the screen. You guys see it as far as where to go to back it and everything. Hold on a second. Give me a minute. I just gotta respond. Okay. Let me get a drink here. All right. Just gonna do a few more little parts that's torn away, and then I'll get into because a lot of this extra stuff I can just do in the inking stage. Um, what else? I'm trying to think. What else? I mean, what else can we do? What else? Kind of other things can you do for a zombie marshmallow? I mean, you could have maybe he's got like a. I don't know if you'd be able to see it like like a marshmallow, one of those marshmallow things that you roast marshmallows on. What are those? I mean, it's pretty much a stick, but I think they have some that kind of have um, like a little circle at the end, maybe. I don't know if that'll make any sense. I'll do a couple of them. Like people have been sticking those in to roast them or something, or maybe I can put it like a marshmallow on it. Let's see. You guys can see that. All right. Okay. Let's break out the ink. I'm gonna put this little thing on my wrist so I don't. This kind of will help protect it from getting the ink getting messed up. All right. So as far as like I mentioned, the pencil I use a pencil, just a color erase. I'm using green for this since I'm going with the kind of a zombie theme. This is just a regular kind of black eraser. I don't know the brand on that. I think this is a zebra pen or a fude pen or something like that. I don't know. It's in Japanese, so I'm not sure exactly what it is, but it's a brush pen, disposable brush pen. I use these all the time. All right, so let's start inking this thing. And of course, the great thing about a brush pen is that you can get that line weight depending on how much you press down on it. Oh, I see Crapola in the chat. How's it going? So tonight we are just drawing 80s themed zombies. So this is Stay Puft Marshmallow Man as a zombie. I don't know exactly how that would happen. I mean, he's pretty big. I mean, something I imagine, or it's maybe something could bite him on the toe, or some zombie could bite him on the toe and maybe turn him into a zombie. But it's just, I think it's just kind of a fun idea. Here's where I'm going to draw some of the little dripping marshmallows, gook coming off. All right. And then here you can see sort of I draw the muscle here. And I don't know if you can see, I guess you would have some kind of skeleton under there, but you're not really going to see that real goopy stuff coming out all over the place. All right. Thick eyebrows. Of course, this is where you get most of the expression in the eyes here, especially if you don't, I was going to say, especially if you don't have the nose. Not that a nose really, you don't get too much expression in the nose, I guess, but I think it all helps. And then over here. So I mean, I think he looks pretty threatening. I mean, he was threatening in the movie, so, but he has to be even more threatening if he's a zombie, so. Just that torn away skin. Or I guess marshmallow. I guess it wouldn't be skin, but. Kind of digging, drawing these little, I don't know what you call pustules or bubbling marshmallow. All right. How's that look? Can you see that? Oh, Corey just took off. Have a good night, Corey. Okay, so we got the teeth. Again, not sure if the Marshmallow Man actually has teeth. I don't think he does. But for this, we're giving him teeth. Fill in the black inside the mouth. There we go. Yeah, he's looking pretty cool. I'm digging him. Draw this scarf on him. Neckerchief, I guess, is more what it is. I think that's what you call it. A term you don't hear too much anymore, I guess. At least I don't. Yeah. And I'm just gonna just dirty him up a little bit, these little cross hatching things just to make it. Oh, we forgot his little. Now this I have no idea what it's called. The little thing that hangs off a sailor cap, like a little ribbon, I guess. Maybe it's just called a ribbon. I don't know. Feel free if you know what this stuff is. Penny Rose is in the chat. Hello, how's it going? Thank you. I appreciate it. They say it's looking pretty neat. So here's where I was talking about as far as the little marshmallow skewer. I'm gonna put a couple marshmallows on it so you can hopefully tell what it is. Huh? Yeah, the inking I just, I love inking, especially now that I do so much of my work, that I do so much of it digitally. My inking includes Studio Paint. That it's really nice to get a chance to do some of these original pieces. And I'm really debating. I know where I'm all about right now, talking about Young and the Dead, my current Kickstarter, my comic that I just kind of wrapped up, which you know funding right now in Kickstarter, we're I think we're still at $1,941. And I want to get that up to 2,000 by the end of the night, hopefully. But I'm now that the book is done, I'm starting to think of my next project, which is going to be quite different, different style and everything, different subject matter. But I'm just kind of I'm just so used to doing digital stuff now, and with this new style, I really want to make it just something that's just gonna people are just gonna because Young and the Dead is kind of it's almost like a kidlit kind of style, even though I mean it's for kids, but it's also I mean most of the people that are gonna be interested are probably people that grew up in the '80s because it's the '80s theme. Although I know a lot of young kids that like Stranger Things, so I could be wrong about that. But it is sort of a kind of like a kidlit, a little more cartoony style, where the next one's going to be just a little more crazy and a lot heavier blacks and just a lot of like robots and crazy stuff like that. So I really want to make the pages just amazing. Like with Young and the Dead, I've actually do have a few tiers with original pages, but the original pages really don't, they're not flying off the shelf. So, but with this next one, that's one of my goals. When I draw something, somebody's going to be like, I mean, I want every page just to be like, oh, that's just amazing. Like, either splash page or just looks really cool, to where I could, probably sell some of the originals. And in order to do that, I have to draw it digitally, even though it's a lot faster to do it. I mean, I have to do it traditionally, even though it's a lot faster to do it digitally. So I don't know. I mean, one thing's for sure, I'll probably draw it. I'll definitely, I think, for the most part, ink it traditionally, but I may do a lot of the sketching and stuff digitally. So we'll see. But that's something I'm really trying to figure out the best way to do the next project, because I'd like any particular comic book project that I do to be somewhat different from the previous one. Even though a lot of the themes are going, I always do stuff usually that takes place in the '80s, or like, I guess you would call that a period piece. It seems weird to say that, um, but yeah. So I mean, it'll I mean, I am who I am, so a lot of that sort of stuff's going to creep through, and the underlying, just the way I draw, is going to creep through on anything I do. But I think the aesthetics of the next book, the drawing aesthetics, are going to be quite different. So we'll see. But one thing at a time. Right now, we got to concentrate on Young and the Dead, getting some of these sketches done, getting them out there. I don't know. I'm not real sure what the. Let's see. We got a comment from D saying, "Sorry, comics are dead. Bad luck." I don't know what that means, but I don't know if that's just a zombie reference or. But yeah. And then what else we got? Let's see. Oh, Frank says, I just saw that you have Fall Guy trading cards on the site. Love that show. Yeah, yeah. So I do a bunch of like old school. Oh, I don't know if I brought them. Are they out here? That's one of the tiers that I'm offering, are maybe I don't have them here, but I have a set of Young and the Dead trading cards as an add-on for the Kickstarter. So that's something that you can get if you're interested in. So as you can see, when I draw stuff, I can kind of just move around a little bit. Like right now, I'm going back to the scarf here. Of course, that's got to be pretty beaten up. Yeah, I'm digging him. Digging him. Let's see. Okay. Oh, okay. And then we got. Hopefully, I can pronounce this right. Is it Grizz 31? Hopefully, I'm saying that right. But just got home from work. How's your day, sir? It's actually pretty good. Uh, went to a movie today. Let's see what. And then I've just I've been working on different promotions and stuff. There's some odds and ends of the comic that I'm kind of going through everything with a fine tooth comb. If I see any real glazing errors in the artwork, I'm trying to correct that because this is going to be my one and only chance probably to complete uh, this final issue. So there's a few, even though the artwork's already done, there's a few things that I'm just like looking at and like, oh, that needs to be fixed or whatever. So I've been doing a lot of that, which it's time consuming, but like again, I just want to make this the best possible book I can. So this will be sort of fun here. This is where I'm kind of drawing some of his innards. So we'll get some. First, we're gonna get some of the marshmallow goop, and it's gonna kind of be flowing, kind of gushing out over sort of his rib cages. Which again, I don't know if we necessarily have a rib cage, but part of drawing zombies is drawing the insides of things, and if it's just one solid white mass of goop, then it's probably not gonna, you know, there's not a whole lot you can draw there. So we're taking some artistic license. There we go. I don't know if you can actually even really see what all that is, but separate it with some black lines in here just to show some depth. At some point, my girlfriend will probably get home from wherever she is, and the dogs will start barking like crazy. So you might hear that in the background. So I'll apologize in advance for that. But, we're getting closer to the coloring stage here. Oh, we got Gary Hodges in the chat listening in. How's it going, Gary? So yeah, feel free if you know somebody that's into zombies or into like 80s nostalgia or anything like that, don't hesitate to let them know about this project. So we're still still got a little ways to go to where my in my head goal is, but like I'm still super thrilled to where we're at. I think as far as Kickstarter for me, I think this Kickstarter is so far it looks like it should be my most successful one, which is that's kind of what I'm hoping for. So, but it's always you get that initial rush on that first day, and then things kind of start to slow down after that. So just got to keep letting people know about it. So if you're ever thinking about doing a Kickstarter, one of the things you want to think about is staying in front of people, whether it's doing live streams, whether it's posting on social media, and um, which it's interesting. Kickstarter has a lot of really like good analytics where they'll show you where people are coming from, where where they found you and they come from when they back the project, and where originally I thought, well, just Facebook just isn't what it used to be. I don't think I'm going to get much from that, but I did a post and it got shared like at least like 20 times, which for me is a big thing. I mean, I'm not super active on Facebook either. So, and I know Facebook doesn't always share things out, especially with links because they don't want, people to get off of their platform. But I got a few backers from Facebook, and I was not expecting that. But the one of the things that really surprised me is I'm not I one of the things I want to do as far as get on as far as social media, because I'm not really on too many, but I want to get on Blue Sky, and I got one backer off of Blue Sky, and I'm not even on Blue Sky. So somebody must have seen it and posted about it on Blue Sky, and so I mean, for me not even to be on that platform, I mean, I do have an account, so you could probably go in there and follow me, but I haven't started posting there. That was one of the goals. I was gonna start posting on it, but I didn't want the first thing that I post on the new platform to just be, you know, advertisements for a Kickstarter. I want to have more. I want to give more to whatever community than just start off by, oh, hey, buy my thing. You don't even know who I am probably, but I got a thing. So I think you have to kind of hopefully build that trust up. So I think Blue Sky is going to have to wait, but I've heard a lot of people saying that, yeah, I mean, it's kind of what like Twitter used to be. So we'll see. It's something I'll have to look into. But the fact that I got a backer from it without even being on the platform, that's pretty cool. All right. And we got sort of the bubbling marshmallows. I gotta see where I'm. Okay, I gotta remember to keep looking up at my. So my overhead camera, it doesn't have like a external like um, power source, so it just uses the battery. So I gotta constantly look up and make sure that battery doesn't go dead, and be sure. I guess if it does, if I'm not looking, let me know. Um, but it's just a matter of switching the battery out. But I just want to I kind of keep looking at that, making sure that it hasn't gone dead yet. Let's see. So what are right? Yeah. So I'm thinking based on the time, I still got to color this. So probably just going to be the one sketch cover today. But maybe I'll come on and do another one. I got another idea to do another one. I think I want to do a like a Tron zombie. I haven't done that yet, so that'll be pretty fun. And if you did back again, if you weren't here in the beginning, if you backed a tier that includes a sketch cover like this, I in the Kickstarter I advertise that it's kind of you get what you get. It's kind of luck of the draw. But if there's something you really want, and it's as long as it's some kind of 80s zombie one character, then let me know, and maybe I can do a sketch of that. I just don't want to. I don't want to hold up the Kickstarter waiting on everyone's request and things. But if you really have something in mind you want, you can reach out to me if you've backed a level that has a sketch cover like this, or well, I guess sketch card. I was doing those are all sold out right now. It's possible I don't know, I may do some more kind of exclusives like that. I don't know if I have time, but the sketch cards are all sold out. Those were like I put a really cheap price on them, like $5 a sketch card, which is kind of insane. But I thought that would be a good way to get people back, like right away. So, and it seemed to work. So who knows? Maybe towards the end of the campaign, maybe I'll get some other things like that. But don't. I mean, those if I do, they'll just be add-ons. So don't hesitate to back the project because you're waiting till the end, because that's something that if you already backed, you just jump on real quick and add whatever it is to your tier. Or if you've already backed right now, if you kind of wait around and just keep your eye, because if I do some extras, some new extras or whatever, you can jump on that. But like I said, if we can hit 2,000, we're right now we're about $60 away from the goal that I want to hit tonight. So if you're on the fence, if you're considering backing it, I mean, you might be you and maybe one or two other people might be the ones that kind of put me over. And it's real easy to get to. You just go to youngandthedead.com. That'll take you right there. And let me see. I see my battery's going low. So what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to get the inking stage done, because we're going to need time to let that dry. And what I can do while the ink is drying is I'll just show like a kind of my trailer or whatever. It's like a 3.5 minute trailer for the comic on Kickstarter, and that'll give me time to let this dry a little bit. Hopefully 3 minutes is enough before we go to color, and also switch my battery out. As I see the battery's on its last little bar there. So here we go. And feel free. Well, I guess I don't know if you can hear me while the video's running, so we might have to wait on that. But go ahead and ask any more questions in the chat. Now, if I haven't got to them already, I will try to get to those. Let's try to see. More goop down here. Marshmallow goop. All right, I think that's pretty good. I keep adding more stuff. I say that, oh, that's pretty good, and then I just keep, I gotta add a little more of these. There's not as much detail down here at the bottom as there is up here. So, of course, once you start filling in the color, that'll. Okay, let's do that. Well, you know what? Okay. Do that, and let me sign it. It's not real easy to sign with one of these brush pens, so I'm going to see if I can find a micron here. Make sure this works. Some of these are dead. Okay, that works good. So let me sign it. 25. Okay. All right. So here's the ink drawing. What I'm going to do now is I am going to let this dry a little bit. While I'm doing that, I'm going to show the trailer for the Kickstarter. Let that dry, switch my camera, all that good stuff. So, and like I said, feel free to, I see Shawnee put in the chat. Hey, Shawnee, how's it going? Yeah, just let me know any questions or anything you guys have. I'm gonna play the trailer right now, and then we'll let this dry, and we'll get back to it in about 3.5 minutes.
1980s were a great time to be a kid. We had the freedom to take off on our bikes, and no one cared where we went as long as we were back before the streetlights came on. We drank straight from the garden hose. We built forts and tree houses, ramps for our BMX and skateboards. 80s kids were fearless, and that was represented in the movies we watched. Movies where kids were the heroes. On the big screen, we could see children our age fighting a family of ruthless criminals aboard a resurrected pirate ship. We witnessed kids saving the world, battling dark forces in the form of classic monster archetypes. Some kids cobbled together makeshift rockets and traveled to outer space. Others would befriend an extraterrestrial and help him evade shadowy government agencies and find a way home. These are the stories I loved as a kid, and what inspired me to create my own kid-centric adventure comic book series, Young and the Dead, No Zombies Allowed. Young and the Dead follows the adventures of 11-year-old Sam Young and his little brother Tad as they wake up one morning to find most of the adults in their quiet suburban neighborhood have fallen victim to a horrific virus that has transformed them into flesh-eating zombies. Together, they team up with a ragtag group of neighborhood misfits, including Sam's wisecracking best friend Mitch, a live-action role-play aficionado named Lloyd, a tough-as-nails tomboy, Oksana, Ox for short, Sam's secret crush Stephanie, and her overprotective older brother Ricardo, aka Rocky. It's a race against time as these unlikely heroes fight to survive and unlock the clues to a cure that could potentially reverse the effects of the deadly zombie outbreak and save the world in the process. I'm Scott Serklin, and this is the Underground Lair, where for over a decade, I've been working on this passion project, and now the story is finally complete. Young and the Dead has everything I love about comics. adventure, humor, horror, mystery, and of course, zombies. This comic is my love letter to the kid adventure films of the 1980s. Movies like The Goonies, The Monster Squad, Explorers, E.T., and more recently, Stranger Things. Young and the Dead captures all of the nostalgia of that era of storytelling, only with a lot more zombies. Just think Goonies meets Night of the Living Dead. Now, for the first time, you'll be able to get the complete story in trade paperback. Or if you've been collecting the single issues, the oversized final issue is also available. All of the artwork is complete and ready to go. I just need your help with the printing costs in order to make this project a reality. If you love 80s nostalgia, kid adventures, if you love zombies, then this is the project for you. Just check out the campaign. There are tons of really cool add-ons and extras, limited edition prints, vintage wax pack trading cards, sketch covers, remarks, exciting stretch goals to be announced, free shipping to the US, and extras for international backers. It has been a long road, and I am so excited to share the epic conclusion of Young and the Dead with all of you. So thanks for your support over the years. Thanks for your future support, and let's wrap this thing.
Okay, we are back. Thanks for bearing with me, and hopefully, if you hadn't seen that already, hope you enjoyed that. We've got our drawing done. Hopefully, it's dry enough that we can start putting some ink on it. We will find out. So, again, I'm going to start off with my first, because some people might be joining us later. What we're doing is these 80s themed zombie sketches as rewards for Kickstarter backers. Kickstarter is live right now. We're trying to raise about another $60. And I say raise, it's not like you're donating, you're getting awesome stuff in return. Which maybe I'll let this dry a little more and I'll get into that while we do that. But I was just going to show off kind of what we're doing here, that like the Mr. T zombie, the Terminator zombie, Mr. T again, Footloose. Trying to get that gloss off of that poly bag, but all right. So let me show you a few different things right now. Like I said, there are a few tiers. Well, this is kind of the main thing. This is a mock-up of what you're going to get with the trade, which is going to be about that thick. It's about 152 pages, and who knows, if we get towards certain stretch goals, we may even add more pages. But anyway, so it's a pretty decent sized book. That's the trade, or if you've been collecting single issues, I don't know where they are. I gotta find them. Anyway, yeah, I've got the single issues here. I don't know if I have the new one. I mean, these are the single issues so far. Somewhere there's the new single issue. I don't know where that went. These here are the remarks, which is there's I think 3 available still, and that's where I draw a sketch right on the cover, signed and drawn right on the cover. And then I did have. It's funny because I had somebody remark about that was I mean, no pun intended, on Facebook that they were excited to see that the campaign and everything, but they said they don't back independent projects where there's tiers where they charge for autographs, and I kind of wrote back and I said just to be clear, I don't ever charge for signing anything. It's with these things, the extra cost is the sketch, and whenever I do a sketch, I also sign that sketch. So you're not paying for an autograph, you're paying for the sketch. So I'd never heard that before, but that, I mean, it does make sense. I mean, I'm not huge on people charging for autographs, and if you're an indie guy like me, probably no reason to be charging for autographs. But like I said, I don't. But so if that's a sticking point with you, just to know, I don't charge for signing things. Also, I don't have tiers for signing things. I don't just assume that people want them signed, so I usually don't do that. I mean, I guess if you send me a request saying you really want one signed, I can do that for you. But that's not something that I, really advertise. A little presumptuous. But, I know some people do like that. So if that's something you want, let me know. So here's some extra add-ons. These are some of the 4 former variant covers that I've turned into postcards. This is a 3-pack that you can add on with artwork from Joshua Kimball, Corey Kerr, myself. There's some really cool version prints. These are based on some of the variant covers from the previous Kickstarter, but now without all the trade dress, you get just the artwork as prints. Really nice prints. Russ Leach, Federico Marchetti, and Gary Hodges. I don't know if Gary's still in the chat there, but that's his print. So we got those. Those are add-ons. You can add those on to any physical tier. Let's see what we got here. So this, let me talk about this here. This is our first stretch goal. So like I said, tonight I'm trying to get to 2,000, which are about $60 away from. But the next big goal, is the 3,000. If we get to 3,000, then everyone gets this 3D print along with the 3D glasses, which I don't know where they went, but there are 3D glasses included in that. And then for international backers, because I know it costs a lot to back if you're not in the United States, this is something that I'm giving to every international backer, because I can add this to, it costs $30 extra for shipping for international backers, no matter where you are outside of the United States. Oh, shipping in the United States is free, by the way. Not too many Kickstarters offer that, but I am offering free shipping in the United States. But if you happen to be outside the United States, I don't have any control of that crazy shipping cost. But what I can do is I can add a bunch of stuff for you, so you're getting your money's worth even for that shipping. It's almost like you're just buying extra stuff. So I got the Keep Out Zombie virus. I got the I Love Zombies with the Human Heart, the No Trespassing Top Secret Research Facility, another 3D print, also with 3D glasses, and this zombie threat level. Now, if you're in the U.S. and you say, "Oh, that's cool. Why can't we get that?" You can too. It'll just be that $35 add-on that the international people are basically paying for their shipping. So there's that. And then every physical reward also has this cool zombie apocalypse survival guide sheet that you can kind of fill out. And I want to put this on nice glossy paper where you can mark this off with like a dry erase pen and reuse it. So that's pretty cool. You kind of see what that looks like there. So those are some of the extras and things. There's just a lot of cool stuff on the campaign there. But let's get back to coloring the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man here. Again, I got my little Stay Puft guy right over here. Just set them right here so you can see. Can you see that guy? All right. He's in the way of my marker. Over here. There he goes. Okay. So yeah, we're gonna start coloring this thing in. And let me check the chat real quick. Okay, we got a question from Shawnee Poo Tube. Would you be up to doing an interview on one of my friends? Oh, actually, yes. Just hit me up, Sean. I'm definitely out there trying to do press interviews, podcasts. If you got podcasts or live streams, let me know. Oh, Tyler Blake Art I was just talking about you and the you said you got a sketch cover, and that you were looking forward to doing an illustration on it. So yeah, that was earlier on the show, but thanks again, Tyler, for backing. Appreciate it. Awesome. And the stuff you're doing for your upcoming Kickstarter looks cool as well. I follow Tyler on Substack, and he's working on his own horror anthology Kickstarter. So very cool stuff. All right, let's see. Back. I didn't read all of Sean's question. Let's see. So if you'd love to get you hooked up and then maybe get you some more eyes on your campaign. Yeah. Just reach out to me, Sean. Let me know. I'd be happy to do any interviews or whatever. And I've got tons to say. Obviously, I mean, I've been doing comical content for forever, so I've got plenty of things to talk about. If anyone beyond just the Kickstarter, and just advice and things like that. So I'm more than happy to be on any show. So all right, so let's start off. I'm going to start off with my lightest color first. Let's see. I think this is the lightest color. And I'm just going to, now granted, he's Well, let's just say that when you're a zombie marshmallow man, you start to turn green. Because if you're not familiar with my comic, when you do now, the comic's in black and white, so you don't always see this unless you see the color images that are either covers or promotions. But when you start to turn into a zombie, your flesh starts to turn like either greenish or bluish, so or like purplish, so any kind of you know like bruisey, cool color. Um, so I guess it stands to reason that even if you're a marshmallow man, then that's going to be the case. So I usually do these just a kind of a monotone color scheme. Again, you can kind of see some of these other ones I've done. All right, let's see. Let's fill in his scarf here. And then we got to do that with the hat too. I guess most of his hat is white, but the little at the brim that's going to be solid color. So we'll color that. I didn't add the type here. I might do that in white. We'll do this here, and then eventually, as I go, I'll be adding more color here. But so just paying close attention to where the shadows are, and I'll start building on those shadows. So there might be a little shadow under here, a little bit, some stuff there, on the other side. So I'm just figuring the sun is coming down this way, so the shadows are going to kind of cast down over here to my right. Get in here where all these guts and things are. Just put little dots here and there. Just and these are like bruises and things. But you can probably guess that by the green lab coat that this is one of my favorite colors. So I tend to do a lot of stuff in green. When I was my first car when I was a kid was like a mini truck, and I painted it black and fluorescent green. So I've always had a penchant for this kind of like kind of lime green, day glow green, whatever you call it. Yeah, I think the person who commissioned this one in particular is going to be happy with this. We'll see. I'll have to send him a. I'll send him a link to this live stream. I don't know if he watches my YouTube channel or not, but I'll send him a link to the live stream that has me drawing his sketch. Yeah, and I imagine because so my campaign wraps up. I think it wraps up. What is it? May 1st, I think, and then I think May 3rd is free comic book day, which I always go to my local comic book store, Surprise Comics. They have me out there, and that's one of the times where I do commissions and things. So the person who requested this one will probably be there, for that event, I'm sure. And then I've got some other people that usually want me to do like sketch covers and stuff. So I'll probably just bring this with me, even though the rest of the Kickstarter stuff won't be there. I'll probably bring this with me for him then. That's a good first color. Let's see, that is number G. So green, yellow, number 4. Now we're going to go with the green, yellow, number 5. Oh, see, I didn't even put anything in there that time. And then we just kind of go over some of the areas, add a little more depth. Anything like under the eyebrows would kind of cast a shadow there. You want to keep a little white there, and I can go back in because I've got my paint pens and stuff. We can add some more white because we'll probably want to have more of that white dripping goop. And then you can see here, so I'm going to put a little dark on the other side here just to show that it's dripping out and it's kind of casting a shadow because it's like really, really thick, that marshmallow slop. And then this kind of undercarriage of his body will cast a shadow here. So, and then we want this to be darker. So, and we'll probably go one step darker on that, and then we'll probably leave the scarf like this color because these are two different colors. This is blue and this is red, so we want to show different colors there. So once I get to the next stage, a little darker, we'll do that, but we'll leave that there so they look a little different. Again, anytime there's like where this flesh is kind of just torn off, I want to put a little shadow casting there. We check back at the chat. Awesome. Sean says he's going to get the ball rolling on that. I reached out to, there's a couple other podcasts that I reached out to, so we'll see if one of them responded back. It was a zombie podcast, and they said they'd like everyone to give them a audio recording, talking about their book, which I sent that out to them. So we'll see if they feature that or maybe even have me on as a guest. You never know. But that is certainly something I am open to. Yeah. So Sean, what's the? I mean, you don't have to mention what the name of the podcast that you're welcome to, but I'm curious, kind of what they do. And here, I'm gonna put a little, just to show that this stuff's super thick. It's gonna cast a little bit of shadow here, and then his body would. There we go. That's good. Like that. All right. And we take it up one more to, let's see how dark this is. Pretty dark. This will be our, do this. This will be our, what do you call it? We call that a neckerchief, I think. So there's that. And then this should be darker because I'm going to fill this in with, I'm going to probably do the lettering in white. I'm going to get my white paint pens. Just not too much of the dark stuff, maybe little shadows here and there. Under the eyes. Back here. Like some of this, I put like little, almost like this could be smudges and things like that. Yeah, it looks pretty good. Now, the one thing I always do, let's see, what's this? I always like to put some Kirby Crackle in the background. Again, you can kind of see it sort of here. This is what I was using. It's running out of ink, so I think I'm going to see. Let me see if this Spectrum Noir marker. Yeah, I think that's light enough that I think this will work. See, I don't know why anyone that makes a pen, the thing should always click on the back. I don't care what kind of pen it is. How hard is it? You got to make the caps fit on the back of your pen. I mean, the Uhuhu will do that. So you do that. See? How simple is that? Then you don't lose these things. All right, little pet peeve. Sorry. All right, let's see. So we're gonna put some Kirby Crackle in here. Yeah, this is a nice full marker. Not a brush pen, which, but there was a time, I mean, I've been doing like marker renderings for a long time, and there was a time where brush pens weren't even a thing when it came to markers. So I get spoiled now. It's a collecting community. Okay, cool. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not the biggest comic. I mean, I've got comics. I'm not like, I don't think I have like a single slab comic. Well, I know I don't have a single slab comic, but I do have a collection of comics and stuff. So as far as the collecting aspect, I don't know a whole bunch on that, but maybe they can educate me on that stuff. You know. Oh, you know what I like to do that I didn't do? I forgot. Let's see. Well, before I get to that, let me get kind of a little two-tone in here. But I usually color in the logo too, so we're going to do that as well. Yeah, definitely. It didn't take that. I think that whatever it was, 3 minutes that I took to do the little trailer was enough time for this to dry. So that's cool. That's good to know. Future reference. All right, there's that. Now, okay, so let's go ahead and color in the logo here. I'll just start at the bottom and kind of move up, and then keep a little white on the top, and I'll do one more with the next color. Yeah, these are pretty. So I got these from, this is from Comics Wellspring, and they do a pretty nice sketch cover, which is great because even some of the larger companies, I think it was it Boom or Dynamite? One of them, man, they have the worst sketch covers, and they print them on like these glossy paper. It's like insane. Like, am I supposed to draw on that? But so you get, that's a little, I don't know, that seems like a little too dark. Let me see what this is any different. If this is any different. Yeah, that's a little better. Yeah, like that. Yeah, the chisel tip works great for this type of thing for sure. But I do like well, maybe that's not that big of a difference. Anyway, so there we go with that. Let's see. All right. Now we're going to add some paint, some special effects here and there. We'll start with the Stay Puft logo here. So I'm looking at the guy. It is in white, so I'll just do that. Let's see. Stay. I'm just going to put Stay Puft, but now I'm starting to think if I should have thought of something clever that's more of a zombie thing. But I didn't think about it, so we can do bits and pieces here. There's not really, a lot of times I'll use this for highlights, like in the eyes and things, but he's pretty dead-eyed because he's a zombie, so there's not a whole lot of, maybe some of the blood would have little, or whatever you call it, it would have little glares on them, but one thing that I'll do, let's see, let me break out some paint pens here. I think I got a smaller one. Let's see if this works. I'm just going to go around the edge and kind of pop them out. So this always kind of helps, pop them out from this Kirby Crackle background. I mean, I don't have some of it, I didn't go all the way to the edge, but I just kind of always like this effect. So like I said, I will be probably doing another video at some point showing how to do remarks, but this is what I use for the remarks to get to lay down my flat color, because you can't just draw on the cover. Oh, sorry, you can't just draw on the cover without putting a white base down first, because it's just not going to show up. But I'll kind of do a basic tutorial on how to do those, because that's something fun you can do if you ever get into doing your own comics and everything, and then you want to. There's collectors out there that really do like those remarks. Okay. Anything else? Just again, some of the little. Since this is marshmallowy, you can put some. Oh, that's pretty good. There's a tooth there. We'll do that. But all in all, I think that looks pretty good. What do you guys think? Here, let me hold that up. All right, so we've been going for about an hour and a half, which is that's typically what I do for a live stream. So we're still kind of where we were in the beginning. I'm still hoping we can raise another $60 by the end of the night. We want to hit that $2,000 goal. And on the Kickstarter, there is a link at the bottom. Just go to youngandthedead.com. Here, let me see. Just go to youngandthedead.com, and that'll take you right to the Kickstarter. I know a lot of you people watching already have already backed it, so thank you. If you haven't, you're considering it, now would be a great time to do that. But yeah, I mean, so far everything's going pretty good. Want to hit that goal. But also, if you're watching this after the fact, I know there's people here that are watching me live right now. Like I said, most of you guys, I've noticed your names, and I know a lot of you have backed it already, so thank you. If you're watching after the fact, yeah, just jump on that Kickstarter. I made it super easy. Just go to Young and the Dead. Just check it out. There's all kinds of cool rewards and stuff like that. And I'm just super excited to have the complete story. I mean, this is kind of what it's gonna look like. It's big, thick volume. Awesome story. I've been working on it for 10 years, and I'm just excited to finally be able to announce that it's complete. And then there's rewards like these sketch covers. I'm really digging. I'm gonna have a hard time parting with this, but I know who's getting this is who's gonna really dig it. So we've got the sketch cover tiers. There's tiers with blank sketch covers if you want to do your own sketches on them. There's all the physical tiers. You get this zombie survival guide thing that'll keep track of if there happens to be a zombie apocalypse. This isn't a bad thing to have. Keep track of things. And then just the next big stretch goal is this. I don't know if you can see it here, but it is a 3D print. Anaglyphs 3D print comes with glasses. When we hit that goal at $3,000, everyone that's backed at the physical tier will also get this. It's nothing extra. It's not an add-on that you have to pay extra for. Everyone gets that as an add-on if we hit that stretch goal, and then we'll unlock a different stretch goal, and we'll see how far we can take this thing. But things are going well so far. Thanks for everyone who is watching, and like I said, I'll be popping on here on my YouTube channel doing some live streams. I want to do one on how I do the remarks. I've got a lot of these sketch cards to do, so I'll probably be doing some live versions of those. So looking forward to hanging out with everyone on those again. But that's going to do it for now. And yeah, thanks. I guess I'll take us out one more time. I think with the video. So you can check that out if you're joining in late or whatever. You can know what the campaign's all about, what the story's all about if you're new to it. Thanks to everyone in the chat. Thanks for all the questions. I do appreciate it. Thanks to everyone that's watching this after the fact. Don't be shy. Leave a comment if you got any questions or whatever. You can also do that on the campaign if you have a question about it. I think there's a way to message me if you're looking at it like, well, yeah, I don't know how does this work or whatever. Just send me an email. I usually respond to all my emails. So good night, everyone in the chat, and I'm going to take us out one more time with the video.
1980s were a great time to be a kid. We had the freedom to take off on our bikes and no one cared where we went as long as we were back before the streetlights came on. We drank straight from the garden hose. We built forts and tree houses, ramps for our BMX and skateboards. 80s kids were fearless, and that was represented in the movies we watched. Movies where kids were the heroes. On the big screen, we could see children our age fighting a family of ruthless criminals aboard a resurrected pirate ship. We witnessed kids saving the world, battling dark forces in the form of classic monster archetypes. Some kids cobbled together makeshift rockets and traveled to outer space. Others would befriend an extraterrestrial and help him evade shadowy government agencies and find a way home. These are the stories I loved as a kid, and what inspired me to create my own kid-centric adventure comic book series, Young and the Dead, No Zombies Allowed. Young and the Dead follows the adventures of 11-year-old Sam Young and his little brother Tad as they wake up one morning to find most of the adults in their quiet suburban neighborhood have fallen victim to a horrific virus that has transformed them into flesh-eating zombies. Together, they team up with a ragtag group of neighborhood misfits, including Sam's wisecracking best friend Mitch, a live-action role-play aficionado named Lloyd, a tough-as-nails tomboy, Oksana, Ox for short, Sam's secret crush Stephanie, and her overprotective older brother Ricardo, aka Rocky. It's a race against time as these unlikely heroes fight to survive and unlock the clues to a cure that could potentially reverse the effects of the deadly zombie outbreak and save the world in the process. I'm Scott Serklin, and this is the Underground Lair, where for over a decade I've been working on this passion project, and now the story is finally complete. Young and the Dead has everything I love about comics: adventure, humor, horror, mystery, and of course, zombies. This comic is my love letter to the kid adventure films of the 1980s. Movies like The Goonies, The Monster Squad, Explorers, E.T., and more recently, Stranger Things. Young and the Dead captures all of the nostalgia of that era of storytelling, only with a lot more zombies. Just think Goonies meets Night of the Living Dead. Now, for the first time, you'll be able to get the complete story in trade paperback. Or if you've been collecting the single issues, the oversized final issue is also available. All of the artwork is complete and ready to go. I just need your help with the printing costs in order to make this project a reality. If you love 80s nostalgia, kid adventures, if you love zombies, then this is the project for you. Just check out the campaign. There are tons of really cool add-ons and extras, limited edition prints, vintage wax pack trading card, sketch covers, remarks, exciting stretch goals to be announced, free shipping to the US, and extras for international backers. It has been a long road, and I am so excited to share the epic conclusion of Young and the Dead with all of you. So thanks for your support over the years. Thanks for your future support, and let's wrap this thing.